Yeah.
They don't care a damn.
Yeah.
And yet it's the most vital, important thing in your life. And I work on 10 things every day of my life to get there. All these things to me are very important in my life. I could hit 1,000 balls and never do it again. Why did I do it at that time? The only way you judge the best player is what's on paper. And yet they boo him. Now when he's losing yesterday, yay! They all cheer for him. Why would they boo a man like that? Why would they boo him? They cannot like him, but just think that what this man has done is incredible.
No.
I'm not going to change the world. I know. James,
Mr. Player, how are you?
I lost my wife a little while ago, so you have my sympathy losing your dad, I was told.
Thank
right?
you very much. Yes,
It's
thank
a
you.
tough deal. How old was he?
71.
Young man, you're getting your prime.
Yeah.
What did he die? Cancer?
No, it was a heart attack.
Heart attack?
Yeah.
Well, everybody's getting cancer now. All of us standing here, half of us are going to get cancer. No, it's a fact. No, it's a medical fact. Half of us here are going to get cancer, and half of us are going to get heart attacks.
Yeah.
And the way people look after themselves, they're going to go a hell of a lot earlier than they should.
Yeah.
When you're overweight, you're going to die early,
There's
unless you're a freak.
There's no hope for me then.
So, well,
Can I give you this?
enjoy
to
it
pop
while
on?
you can. I study that as much as I study golf. And it's just astounding to me that people don't care about health.
Yeah.
They don't care a damn.
Yeah.
And yet it's the most vital, important thing in your life. Man, I want to live to 100, and I work on 10 things every day of my life to get there. Luck is the residue of design. Luck is the residue of design. I repeat that. People think life is a long time living automatic. No, if you're overweight, and I'm overweight as I stand here today, that's why I've gone to 2 meals a day now. I will never have 3 meals a day in my life again. If you want to live a long time, the most important thing, undereat. And don't put on weight. Do me a favor, walk to that thing there. Walk, hey, walk. All I'm doing is putting 15 pounds. How would you like to walk like that all damn day? Hey? Of course it's going to kill you. But anyway, I find it's of my life, and I'm nearly 90, the most frustrating thing in my life is that people don't care a crap about health.
Yeah.
And you don't want to die. When it comes your turn, you don't want to die.
No.
You know, I've seen it. I've seen many people. They don't want to die, but they're going to die. They don't care. What is it? Why?
I don't know.
What is it? I don't know. Anyway.
No.
I'm not going to change the world.
Well, so I've got a few questions quickly, but before we go,
were we on camera or were we talking there?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's fine.
If
That's
you're
all
fine
right.
with
Then
that,
you can put it on camera.
Yeah, no problem.
Right.
To be honest, I agree with you. But we spent as a family a lot of time at Sun City, which you know you're very proud of.
Yes.
And we made lots of fantastic memories there.
Yes.
Do you get back there much, or is it somewhere that you would like to go and visit more, do you think?
No, I spend a lot of time at Sun City. I think it's the greatest resort on the planet. And I've traveled more miles than any human being ever. I've played more golf courses than anybody that's alive. And I can tell you that Sun City, when I designed that golf course, we went in the bush. There were thousands of snakes. We wore these rubber pants sometimes in the bush, and it was hot. And it's turned out where it's got 2 golf courses, many swimming pools, game reserve with all the big 5 in. You've got casinos, you've got everything you want, crocodile parks, whatever you want, they've got. It's a very, very special place. And a man called Sol Kersner, what really intrigued me and impressed me, that he hired at least 5,000 people out of the mountains. And I love people that give employment, because I was a very poor boy. I was very poor. I made my first job £30 a month for 3 years.
Yeah.
My parents never had money. And when I see somebody who's unemployed, it's very sad for me. So he contributed to society to a great deal in South Africa, and that's the big problem. We have over 50% of unemployment today.
Well, like I said, thank you for the memories there, because that was everlasting. Open week. This is your 70th Open that you've been to or participated in or won, matter of fact. What would you say your favourite Open memory is? I'm sure there's lots to go at. I heard you talking earlier at lunch about Carnoustie being the hardest venue, but what would you say your favourite Open memory is?
It's a very, very difficult thing to answer that, because they're all so prevalent and they all mean so much in your life. And my first Open, being the youngest man to win the Open, and not much money in my pocket, and having my first little baby daughter, and I love children. We have 22 grandchildren, 6 children, and 5 great-grandchildren, and I just adore. The most important thing in my life is gratitude and love. And so to have all of that in my life has been fantastic. So winning the first Open, giving me a chance now to make some money in my life, and knowing we want to have 6 children, and I want to be the best player in the world, and I want to travel, you've got to have money. So I won the Open, the most important tournament in the world, and then I go on and I win the Masters, and then the PGA, and then finally to win the US Open, which I wanted to beat Nicklaus to win the Grand Slam, and I win the Grand Slam. So, there's so many important moments in your life. And then you go to Muirfield, the first Open I win. What a great golf course. I love, as I've often mentioned, the pomp and ceremony about it. I love that, putting a tie on and dressing well, going back in time and having respect for manners, which maketh a man. All these things to me are very important in my life. So, but every Open venue is special for me. And when I played Carnoustie, down the line, the last day, playing with Nicklaus, 5 of us within 1 shot, and we come to the 14th hole, the spectacles, and the wind is blowing, and I see the flag. I can see it now fluttering in the breeze. My wife's sitting in the stand, and I hit a 3-wood that far from the hole at a time like that. Now, I could go back there and hit 1,000 balls. This is the same thing. It was James, right?
Yes.
James, I could hit 1,000 balls and not duplicate that.
Yeah.
The same as Tiger Woods when he chipped in at the 16th hole at Augusta, went up the hill, came down, sat on the edge of the lip. The sponsor saw the name, and then it dropped in. He could hit 1,000 chips like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what intrigues me about this game, when I think back at the shots that enabled me to win tournaments, I could hit 1,000 balls and never do it again. Why did I do it at that time? Now, that's a question that I'd like people to try and answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my answer is? It's written in the books.
Yeah.
It's written in the stars. Now, a lot of people say I'm talking rubbish. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you have to believe, don't you?
Oh, you have to believe. If you don't believe, you're never going to be a champion. I can't stand you and say what you got to believe in, but I know what I got to believe in.
Yeah.
Which helped me to become a champion.
Fantastic. So you've been working with PXG for quite some time now, and you've had lots of great partnerships throughout the years.
Yes.
What do you feel like makes PXG different from other partners you've worked with?
I've obviously been a pro for, as you know, for 72 years, and I've represented a lot of different companies, banks, golf equipment companies, etc., etc., etc. I can tell you, it's very simple to put in one simple term. Everything in business is negotiable except quality. And this company oozes with quality. They're continuously improving because the owner is a very rich man, and he's determined to do well because he was told, oh, you come into the golf business, you'll go bankrupt. And boy, he showed them that he's not going bankrupt. And the people that he hires, I mean, you've only got to look at our man here. You phone him up, pow, pow, you want to need a shop tomorrow, it's there. You follow?
They are very
the
good, yeah.
service and business. Now, we traveled up to down British Airways. It was such a disgrace. This is the 5th time I've traveled up there. My clubs never arrive. Now, I would love to have a business where you give bad service like that. There should be a penalty of at least 20% if your clubs and your baggage don't arrive.
Definitely.
Look, if you have bad weather, you can't take off and you're late, that's another story. But you've got to pay for that, and you arrive here now, I've got to play golf, I've got to have meetings, and I can't do them. And I mean, there were 12 people on our flight. Never had, or more, or less.
Yeah.
None of their baggage arrive. Clothes, and it's disgraceful.
Yeah.
It's disgrace.
So
I come back to service, and I relate it to PXG. The service, whatever you want, they can give you. The golf ball they're making now is outstanding. It's as good as the Titleist is recognized through they got more money to advertise. It's not the best ball. They're all good. You're not allowed to have a ball that goes further than the other anymore. So these people that fall and are gullible for all this advertising are dreaming. And this ball is as good as any ball in the world today. And so for me to represent this company is such a thrill because of the quality. You need something, and service in business is so important. Service is dying.
Yeah.
It's dying. And so when you find a business with service, it impresses you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So one last point, obviously we mentioned about my father earlier. He had a plaque on the living room wall that said, "Please may I live long enough to shoot my age." And that's something he always related to yourself as well. So first of all, how many times have you shot your age? And also, what would you say to, I feel like I know where this is going to go, but what would you say to anyone whose goal that is in life?
Well, first of all, I've broken my age right now 3,131 times in a row. And I want to do 4,000 before I die. That's if I can fulfill my ambition and reach 100. But it's many a sacrifice as I'm going to repeat. And I hate being repetitive because my mind's as sharp now at almost 90 as it was when I was 70. For reasons. So I work on 10 things a day to reach 100. And so I think I'm going to do it, unless I get some disease, of course. But I think it's important to keep that mind sharp. That, you see, what you recommend to people, it is easier to get a camel through the eye of a needle than to get people to take note. You know, they got a stubborn streak in everybody. You tell them what they got to do to look after their health, they don't do it. You know, it's like you tell people when they're playing golf, "Don't worry, don't teach me, I've got my own way," you know. So everybody's got a little bit of a stubborn streak. And you know, what amazes me about human beings now, I just watched tennis yesterday. I go to Wimbledon, I love tennis. I go to Wimbledon every year. Djokovic, the greatest tennis player that ever lived. Why? Because he's got it in paper. The only way you judge the best player is what's on paper. Yeah. Here's a man that lived under bombs going over his head, blowing up people around him, tremendous adversity. He's the best orator of all the tennis players, okay? He's got a great sense of humor. He speaks many languages, and he's the best tennis player in the world, and yet they boo him. Now, when he's losing yesterday, yay! They all cheer for him. The human being is so fickle. Why would they boo a man like that? Why would they boo him? They cannot like him, but just think that what this man has done is incredible. It's, if you look at him and you analyze what he's done, he doesn't deserve any booings. And so I pulled for him because he had a very similar career to me. Only a mere pittance. I mean, for years and years, they wanted to kill me every day. I was from South Africa. I wasn't allowed to play in most countries in the world. Thank God sanity prevailed with Britain, America, and Australia, where I was able to go and play. But many countries, Japan, China, India, all these, I was not allowed to go, not allowed to play. Because I didn't formulate my country's policies. No. But through politics, they let come into the sport. So, you know, one has got to be very... and then Djokovic, he was barred from 3 tournaments. Now, he's won 23 majors. They let him go to Australia. He lived in a barracks. He wasn't allowed to play in the Australian Open. The American Open didn't allow him to play. And then they stopped playing him halfway through because he hit a ball into somebody's face by mistake. So he really should have won 25 majors. So I pulled for Djokovic. I have great respect for Alcatraz. I call him Alcatraz. Alcaraz. Because when you escape from Alcatraz, you're a hell of a man. And this young man, he's fantastic. But I pulled for Djokovic because he was barred and not given a fair deal in life. But it ain't meant to be fair, is it?
No, it's absolutely not.
And I lived under tremendous demonstrations.
Thank you ever so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words as well.
My pleasure.
Wonderful.
You've got a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Pull it tight as you can. You've got to pull it very tight. Because it won't right. It won't right. Let's move this hand. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week as well.
Good questions. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care.
I'll grab that microphone back off.
Thank you, Mr.
There we go.
Thanks, John.
Thank you very much.